What's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the King and Me show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
We here at the King and Me show attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship. Real being relatable,
Entertaining
accountable.
and loving.
Y'all, today, this is what we got a couple more Mondays left.
It's the second to last.
Second to last Monday. Ooh.
Wait, yeah, second to last. Sorry, I just had to look at the calendar. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, the 31st is a Saturday. Second to last.
You know, it just dawned on me that a day and a week from today, we're going to have a high school graduate. And just that week in general is going to be crazy for you. But that's a next week.
Yeah, let me keep my sanity, the little thread that I'm holding on to.
No doubt. Well, it is May the 19th, and man, what a week. How was your week? How was your week last week?
Honey, let me tell you, I'm a senior class advisor, and like it's graduation season. I am literally like hanging on by a thread to make it to May 30th, because while our daughter graduates on May 27th, our district, the high schools graduate on different days.
Okay.
So her school graduates on the 27th. Mine graduates on the 29th. So like I'm still go. I'm still like her last day in class is today. My last day with my seniors is Wednesday. So it's just busy season. It's go season. It's Ms. Early, can you grade this? Ms. Early, can you grade that? Or, I'm turning this in like 6 weeks late, but can you help me out? Like, what's my grade gonna be? It's a lot.
You can't turn in some late to somebody whose last name is Early. Come on.
But why they do it though? Like, here's what I don't understand it. I literally got into a back and forth with a former student who's now a senior, and she was trying to ask if something that we've already sent down to central office and put hours of labor into it, if it can be changed, because she just noticed that there was a mistake in there and the mistake wasn't her fault. And I'm like, sis, no, like I taught you about deadlines, and you gonna come to me with this?
Wrong person.
I was your teacher. I just gotta make it to the 30th.
Almost there.
Or almost doesn't count.
Dang.
I know.
That was good. Boom. Yeah. All right. So today's episode is inspired by, I would like to call them a friend of the live stream, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
John and Nicole from the Better Than Perfect podcast. Their name's going to pop up right down here. I'm also going to put a link to the specific episode, and y'all should go over there and subscribe. They do content very similar to ours, in which they're talking about relationship dynamics, gender dynamics, things like that, stuff that they observe. They travel a lot. They had a really cool trip to Turks and Caicos, I believe, or someplace like that.
That's why I can't watch your channel.
Why not?
Because I'm a teacher. So if I watch someone who's always traveling, low-key, not even low-key, I'm going to just get jealous. So I angrily scroll away. So to avoid that anger that's not directed at the person, I just don't watch. See, I can't.
Now, I have to throw this in here real quick. So I don't know both of them in person, but I knew both of them separate. John had his own social media presence, and he has a large presence. Mm-hmm. Nicole and I started an audio-only podcast at the same time together. This was well before they knew each other. And I messaged her just to have an accountability partner. I didn't know her from Adam or whatnot. I messaged the person before me, who we're still friends with on social media. And I messaged the person after me, who was Nicole, and we just kind of stayed in contact. She had a podcast called Date Me or Hate Me, which I thought was hilarious. She shared her own dating stories and dating life and things like that. And fast forward to years later, John, who I knew separately, I came across him through probably Coach Greg Adams. Like they talked about very similar content. I don't know if they know each other or if they cool, but whatever. And to realize that both of them met and knew each other, they got married, I just thought was hilarious. And they did do us a solid once by just having a quick call and shared some tips about how to improve our stuff. So today's episode, that's the whole background. Inspired by them, go check them out. I'm bad about that.
You
I know.
really like I'm trying. I'm giving you cues. I tapped your leg.
You did.
I held
But
your finger.
Once I start, I don't stop.
I know, but like I be trying to get you when I feel it's coming.
It. You did.
Did you feel my hand on your thigh?
You did. Details matter though. Details do matter. Anyway, go check them out. The specific episode 75, in which it was titled "Why Are Men Dumb and Women Crazy?" And there was some other stuff after that. Episode 75. In it, they talked about, if you've never seen or heard of the Crazy Hot Matrix, there was this hilarious video put on, and I wish I knew the guy's name so that I could give him credit. I'll have that down in the thumbnail as well, or the description box. And it was a Crazy Hot Matrix in which there was an X-axis and a Y-axis. And this guy broke down the Crazy Hot Matrix and where you would put women along that Crazy Hot Matrix. And it is comical and hilarious.
No, it's not.
Well, John and Nicole did their breakdown, in which Nicole had a very good take on, okay, if we're looking at the ladies from the Crazy Hot Matrix, guys would fall on the dumb, and she didn't go into what the other axis was. I did try to reach out to him to get some more input, and by the time this came out, they hadn't responded yet. But it prompted a conversation between Michelle and I in how would we rate the guys. Michelle had never seen the Crazy Hot Matrix before.
Never saw it.
She watched it, cracked up laughing because it is
Did
funny.
I laugh though?
You giggled. A giggle is a laugh.
It was probably like a little smirk, like that's like.
But it did get us talking to ask the question: what's the guy equivalent of the Crazy Hot scale? What is the X-axis and what is the Y-axis? So we came up with our own little scale that we're going to present, and I want y'all, the viewers, to let us know: are we on to something here? Is the male version of the Crazy Hot Matrix that we present accurate or nah? And if you disagree with us or agree, tell us why. So you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it. And shout out to the artist, her, for putting this together.
Thank you. It was a team effort, sorry. It was a team effort. Me and my man. Who are twinning in shirts that can be found via several links, but whatever. All you gotta do is go to our website, get started there, www.thekingandmeshow.com. And you can check out our merch, check out our things that we do there. You can also go to the About the Host page and learn more about each of us. Go to his pages from there and go to my page as well. Let's get started.
So did you see my cue?
Yeah.
And you did a good job.
Because I can wrap things up.
All right. This is our male version of the Crazy Hot Matrix.
Yes.
Crazy Hot scale.
Let's get into it.
All right. Describe to the people what they are seeing on the screen for those of people that might be listening on Spotify or audio.
Okay, so I am a math person. So on the x-axis, we have age. And on the y-axis, we have obligations. And the definition of those, so age is pretty self-explanatory. When we're looking at a guy's age, we want to start, I kind of wanted us to start around 20, but 25, but the way that the chart is, or the graph is, it appears to start a little bit younger, but y'all, the real meat and potatoes doesn't start until 20. So I just want to throw that out there. Because that's, well, okay, so 18. Because
No,
I'm not saying like date a child. I'm not saying date a child. So
you
let's
said
just go
what
with
you
this.
said. I
And
mean, 19-year-old men out here don't have a chance at, well, why don't 19-year-old men out here
We'll
have a
get
chance?
to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. And then on the y-axis, it goes from 0 to 10. So what's an obligation, you may ask? An obligation is someone or something that is tapping into your wallet aside from yourself. So things that we were not including in there is if you have a decent car payment. So I don't even know like what a decent car payment is now, but like under 500 for your car payment. And if you have mortgage,
if you have under 500 for a car payment, you're doing good.
okay. And then if you have a mortgage, we're counting those. So, but like each kid counts as an obligation. Each baby mama counts as an obligation. Each wife or girlfriend or ex-wife counts as an obligation. If you take care of, respectfully, and I don't mean any harm, but if you are taking care of parents, each one of them parents counts as an obligation. If you are raising somebody else's kids, so they're not even yours, but you know you have adopted them and you are raising them as though they are biologically yours, then that is getting counted as well. And I'm trying to talk over the music.
Don't worry about it. They can't hear it. They can't hear it.
So I just want to say that all of those are considered obligations. So the scale goes from 0 all the way up to 10. And the reality is, if you're above 10, as the line indicates, that's problematic.
Okay. So could we transfer the word obligations to the word? No, because
no, because I meant financial obligations. Yeah. I just didn't put financial, but I meant financial obligations.
Okay, I think we could have put like financial, like the money sign / obligations.
Obligations.
Okay.
The things you got to pay for, and that's what an obligation is. Something you have to do.
All right, so let's get up in this first quadrant. Boom.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, so just for my sanity, can you make sure it is being?
I was hoping you didn't, because I'm like, right, I know we're good, but you know what?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I got you, babe.
So in this first quadrant, well, not even quadrant, because that's not a quadrant.
It's not a quadrant.
Because this first area. So in this first area,
of the matrix.
In this first part of the graph, we have basically 30 years of age and under, and it is completely shaded in from 0 obligations all the way up to 10. And y'all, let me tell you why. I know King's face is like, what? Let me tell you why I put this as a no-go area. The biggest reason for that no-go area is because, respectfully, under 30 years old, you don't know yourself. Unless you have, and I don't wish this on anyone, but unless you literally left the house at 18, or you served this country, meaning you still left the house at around 17, 18 years old, you don't know a lot. And then furthermore, you don't know what you don't know. You were either someone who probably spent a lot of time in school and then went straight into the workforce, or maybe you just left school and you started working and you haven't really traveled, you haven't really seen anything. Respectfully, I think under the age of 30, you need to focus on learning who you are, learning your likes and dislikes, and we need to stop telling people that they need to be married before they turn 30. You need to be engaged before you turn 30. I put that in the no-go area. Let him cook, sis, okay? Let that man cook.
I don't disagree with that. And this is going to... Well, because, I mean, I made the faces. Hearing it is one thing, but it also goes to what I've said very publicly, like, under the age of 30, like, I don't believe anybody should really consider somebody for a long-term relationship.
Okay.
Because of the same things that you just said. A, you don't know yourself. B, the average person. If you come from wealth, you're in a
totally different boat.
Category.
Totally different.
But if you're the average person that didn't come from wealth, you don't have any resources as a man to really provide. And men are typically judged by their ability to provide. Outwardly. Outwardly. They're judged by their ability to provide. Let's not kid anybody here. So I don't disagree with that.
Thank you. That face kind of threw me. I was like, he don't support me. All right. So here's the second one. The second area. All right, y'all. Ladies, let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. If a man is over the age of 50 and he has 5+ obligations, because that's the midpoint mark where that is ending. If he has 5+ obligations, meaning he got enough kids, that could be a combination of like 4 kids and a baby mama, or like 3 and 3. I don't know. Like it could be a lot. But whatever, if he's at the 5 and more obligations mark and he's over the age of 50, that means that this man did not spend and obligations can also be debt. So it can be a lot of debt that you're carrying around. It can be a lot of money that you owe other people. So maybe it's not credit bureau debt, but it's debt nonetheless. It could just be an obligation that you don't have your own place, whether it's an apartment with your name on it or a home with your name on it. If he has 5 or more obligations and he's 50 and older, sis, that's way too much drama. Let it go.
All right.
Let it go.
So Uncle Ricky, 55, he got 3 kids, 3 different women, but they all grown, right? He still supports them because in this economy, it's difficult to really launch yourself on your
He's
own.
still supporting them how?
He pays their apartment.
And there we go, sis. And there we go.
So Miss Sally can't come along and pair up with Uncle Ricky.
Because, all right, I'm going to be very transparent in this. This is not how I think. I don't operate like this. However, some women look at men and think, how can he benefit my life, right? A lot of women, some women, I don't want to generalize.
That's fair.
Some women do think that. Some women will look at a man and think, how can he benefit my life? And if you are that type of person who's thinking that way, I'm not knocking you or anything like that. But if you are that type of woman who thinks, how can a man benefit my life? And he's over the age of 50 and he's still paying his son's rent, respectfully, he can't benefit you in that situation unless he's a big time baller who has the money to be able to pay someone else's rent and still pay for everything that involves the two of you. That's just me looking out for you, sis. Like, I don't think that financially he's going to be able to support that. That's not me saying that a man doing that is a bad thing, especially if he has the ability to do it. But I'm coming at it from the perspective of women. If you are expecting this man to take care of you and he's still paying someone else's rent, that's a problem. That's not going to work for you. That's too much drama. Avoid.
That was a very aggressive point.
Oh my gosh, did you hear I cracked my elbow?
All right, so let's get into this next one here. So now we into my age range. This is where I come into play. How are the ladies out here looking at men like me?
All right, so here we got the 30 to 50-year-olds, right? 30 to 50, and 5 or more obligations.
Okay.
My sister, my queen, whether you black, white, Hispanic, Asian, shout out to AAPI month, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, shout out to y'all. If there is a man who is between the age of 30 and 50 and has that many obligations, you don't need to be engaged in any type of biblical activities with that man, because all it's going to lead to is you possibly becoming another one of them obligations. I am trying to spare you from heartache, okay? Trying to spare you. Back in the day, I'm real transparent. Back in the day, I had biblical things, biblical things with this guy. Super, super cool. Like, in hindsight, he is so cool. Like, dope individual in general, right? But he had a lot of kids.
A lot of pitneys.
A lot of pitneys. And I remember thinking, OMG, his fish can swim. Why engage in something like that when, condoms break, life happens, and I'm not trying to get added to that list. And I learned that lesson real easy, real quick, that wasn't someone to mess with, because although he was an amazing person and he is married now and has an absolutely gorgeous wife, and I love their relationship, I love the way that they're together, I just look at it and I'm like, I'm not trying to get added to the list of obligations. So if someone is 30 to 50, because again, once your fish start swimming, they don't stop, unlike women. We, after a while, we lose that ability. Y'all don't, for the most part. If we're there, then we can't be the no biblical area. No biblical.
No biblical area. Because you could possibly be another additional obligation.
I could get added to that list right there.
This is good.
I swear we have a logical rationale for things.
All right. But what if they have less obligations in that 30 to 50 age range?
Oh, y'all, this is where you seriously date that person. This is where you take them sincerely. This is where you are willing to offer and commit. You're willing to get to know that person, spend more time with that person, grow with that person. Like you are really, really committed. This is where we are, right? We're in the serious dating. We are dating for the future. We're dating for a lifetime together. And I love that for us, right?
Yeah.
I love that for both of us because we are thinking about the future. We're thinking about that next step. We're thinking about moving in together. We're thinking about what it looks like if we don't call the US our home. Like we're looking at a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, we share and do everything together. Y'all, real talk about me and about King, we have access to each other's health records, okay? Like this is how serious we are about this thing. We have access to each other's health records. He gets it. I've been messaging my doctor's office all day. He's been getting a notification, an email all day saying, this response is in, this response is in. When he goes and gets any type of work, and you had some doctor's appointments today, which means that when those things finally get uploaded, I'm gonna be getting some emails. Like we're we're here in the serious dating range. And that's not to say that like his obligations are through the roof, but to say that, we're doing what we need to do. We're in that age range.
Why does
This
it
is where you date seriously. Sorry.
why does it slant up as you get older and your obligations increase?
I think graphically it just made sense to me when I did it. And
Okay.
you didn't correct me when I showed it to you, so
Well,
I just kept it there.
okay, so that's not to say that, well, if you're over the age of 30, the older you get, the more obligations you get, the less you are considered for serious dating. Is that what that's
So
interpreting?
you mean like why is it like
Like, yeah, so see how like you're younger down here with less obligations,
Mhm.
but the older you get, you
The
start
more things
gaining more
happen. So
obligations.
maybe
Yeah.
like one of your obligations, because again, we're talking about things you basically pay money to. Maybe your investment broker or whatever, and you own several properties. For every property you own, that is an obligation.
Okay.
And sometimes, especially now, we do see that trending where a lot of people are buying investment properties. So maybe that person owns some investment properties, has that one car that you love. That's your baby. But then you got your everyday car. That's two cars. One of them counts as an obligation. So,
Really? I would think that that would make the man more.
but not obligation does not isn't always negative. It's just something you pay money towards.
Gotcha.
So it's not always a negative thing because I don't want people out here like assuming that I'm saying that a child is a negative thing. It's just something you have to pay money towards.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all.
Another slice of the pie
Another slice of the pie.
that she ain't getting. Next area. Ooh, the nice sweet spot. It seemed like of those men 30 to 40 that don't carry a lot of slices of pie, a lot of obligations out there. You put that as the marry zone. Speak on this.
All right. So I want to be honest. One of my other things that I do on the side is I'm a photographer. And I remember I was blessed to photograph a couple's wedding and they were well over the age of 60. And while the groom had been married before, the bride had never been married before. And she was, again, over the age of 60, probably over the age of 70. I'm not 100% sure because she's black, so who knows. But she was at least over the age of 60. So I do recognize that there is marriage that happens in the later years. I recognize that. I understand that. But if we're talking like first time marriages, if you have that person who is in between 30 and 40, low obligations, that is the person that you go ahead and marry because they're not carrying a whole lot of drama with them. They're not carrying a whole lot of financial baggage. They are more primed and ready. They've lived a life because they're over the age of 30. They've had experiences. They've seen other people. They've dated other people. You're not their first anything, although we could be talking about some people who still have their V cars. That could be. But for the most part, the odds of you being the first are, they're a little bit more reduced. And that person is just more mature. They're ready. They're ready to be in that relationship with you. And yeah, if you notice, like the way I did it, it is overlapping the area where we had serious dating, and it's overlapping it intentionally because this is that time where you really can consider, hey, marriage is for me. I don't have too much to lose, but I also have something. I'm kind of in that spot. So, like over here in the serious dating, it may be too much to lose, but right below it, I don't have too much to lose, but I do have something.
Sidebar, do you think that men in that category, from what you see now, are those men really seeking to try to
Oh,
find?
that's you. See,
Okay.
you speaking to the men. I'm speaking as the women. This is what we should be looking out for.
Good, good. I like that.
Excuse me.
You like that?
You like that?
Oh man, this next section. Ooh. I'm curious how you put this out there. The men between 40 and 50, they ain't got a lot of obligations.
No, some of them do. Some do, some don't. Here's the thing: casual dating at that age, they're single for a reason. And that's not to spoil what's coming next, but they're single for a reason. They've probably been married before and or had their heart broken, and realistically, I'm not going to say they're out there having fun, but settling down isn't necessarily the thing on their minds. They've had an encounter with Coach Greg Adams. They've had an encounter with Kevin Samuels. They are watching what is happening to Shannon Sharp and Diddy right now. And they're like, you know what? This won't happen to me if I just keep things casual. And women, you have to learn how to respect that. Like, learn to respect the fact that there is that group of men who are at that point in their lives where they've done the dating, they've done the marriage, they've done the kids, and they just want something casual, something easy breezy. Not the, I gotta call you every morning when I wake up, I gotta text you, I gotta check on you. You were on my mind, so I actually texted you. Like, you got to respect that. This is not the person that you're going to get a Valentine's Day gift from. This is not the person who's going to call you on your birthday. They may text you because it's a day that ends in Y and they were just thinking about you momentarily, but you're probably going to have to drop the hint like, "Oh, today is my birthday," for them to be able to like respond and give to cahoots about it. So this is just like, there's nothing wrong with it. I am not knocking this man in this category. Like, do you, boo? Like, you done lived your life. You have earned the right to get to this point and say, I'm just casually here.
I'm gonna tell you, from a guy standpoint, that's the sweet spot right there. That's the sweet spot, because if you live life well, then you will have accumulated resource and things, and the sky's the limit, because you could pull a Shannon Sharp, dip down in your 20s, or, just do what you want to do. But yes, I think the advice for the ladies and how they would look at, that it's going to be harder for them to pull that kind of a man from casual into something, a little bit more serious.
The other thing to note about this area is this: because of his age and or because of his obligations, he has too much to lose. You are not going to see a 40-year-old man who is willing to get into a relationship and lose everything that he has worked the past 22 years to accumulate.
It's
He
rare.
has a lot to lose. And again, that's not knocking you, woman. That's just saying that this man is about his business. He's come too far, whether it's his sanity, whether it's his finances, whether it's his peace, whatever it may be. He has accumulated too much in his 22 years of adulthood, and he's not willing to lose it for anyone. So he has chosen the casual lifestyle because that's what keeps his things to him, including his sanity and including his peace. Shout out to our episode from last week. This is how he's able to keep that. And women, you have to respect it. These men over 40, love them. You gotta love them, because my man is over 40. I love these men over 40, but you also have to understand and respect that most of them, they got too much to lose at this point.
No doubt. No doubt. Let's see. Ooh, is this the last one? This is the last
This
one.
is Oh goodness, let me hide my face before you show.
Before we do it, in the hot, crazy matrix, there was a point at the end that it was, depending on how you look at it, you either chuckled, you might have thought some type of thing or whatever. But when we get to the men over the age
say
of
this
50,
with all due respect, okay? Please don't come for me. Please do not come for me.
if ladies are looking out in the wild and they see a man over the age of 50,
Over the age of 50 with any amount of obligations that's not too much, up to the midpoint of 5, this is why. Oh gosh.
bam.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. Okay. All right, y'all. So he's gay or he's a priest. But put it this way, sis, he ain't that into you, okay? He is not into you. Again, we have come to the point where men are about their peace. Over the age of 40, men are about their peace. Am I right?
Yes.
Again, you've had Kevin Samuels, you've had Coach Greg Adams, you see what has happened to Bill Cosby, Shannon Sharp, Diddy. You've seen all of them.
You've lived experiences yourself, or you've seen other people, your other peers, folks that you grew up with, your homies close to you. You've watched what they've gone through.
You have watched What's Love Got to Do with It. You saw that scene with, like, you've seen things, you've experienced things, and respectfully, you were just about your peace. So either if you, again, this whole thing is single women looking at single men. Let's go there. Single women looking at single men. And if a man is single in his 50s to 60s, at this part of the range, it is simply because he is not that into you, sis. Like, there is something else that is catching his attention, and it ain't you. He, for whatever reason, although I listed 2, for whatever reason, he's not gonna come home to you. Like, just don't hold your breath. Don't wait for it. Don't expect that call back. It's just not gonna happen.
I look at this guy as this is a guy that truly sits inside of his peace. And you're not, I mean, when I say not, the people that are in their 40 to 50, you've got a chance. But over the age of 50, they've been able to cultivate a really good life in which their slices of the pie aren't being divvied out to a lot of different places with a lot of obligations. You cannot get that man to jump off his square.
Yeah.
Like, it won't happen. So, gay or priest, I say,
or monk.
I
Okay.
say,
Different
or
religions.
or monk, or shout out to Coach Greg Adams, a true free agent.
Yeah.
A true free agent. That this person is like, I'm in the, what's that? That is past the third quarter. You're in the third quarter of life. I ain't trying to get into a relationship. Let me just get out here and do my thing.
And let me put it this way, ladies. What he's saying is right. Like, again, I joked with those, but the seriousness is, for a man 50 to 60 years old, if he is still single, if he is that low on the obligations list, the reality is he is not going to be looking for anything serious. As you all like to say, he may be transactional in his needs, trying to get met, but at the end of the day, he's not thinking about who he can bring home to anyone, right? Like, he's kind of already past there. And again, ladies, some of this is a joke, some of it is serious, but understand that every single person has, like, this phase in their life where they are. We are making a generalization, okay? We're making a generalization. This is based on what I've seen in my dating experience and what King has experienced both firsthand and from other people. So we compiled that all together to be able to make this.
So this is our male version of the crazy hot matrix. That's okay. So if that's called crazy hot, do we just go age obligation scale? Like, that don't sound as catchy.
I know it doesn't.
Yeah, we'll workshop that. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Yeah,
we're good. 2 heads are better than 1.
So we do want to thank the Better Than Perfect podcast for inspiring us with this idea. They should cover it themselves. I would really like to know what their full version is. So John, Nicole,
Oh, because he
Get
did
on
leave it
that.
that way.
Get on that.
Period.
Hey, that was good. I like that. That was like I had to wipe my eyes a couple of times because I had like tears of laughter as we were going through, and just your reactions overall was like, oh, hide my face, hide my face. All right, where are we at time wise?
I don't know. I can't see.
Even with your, you know what?
Oh, I see where it is. I didn't know where it was.
That's okay. I'm
You
gonna
were
sip
about to
this
come
real
for my
quick. Hold
vision.
on, let me sip this real quick.
You're about to stop, because you about to
Are
say.
you-
I knew you were about to say something mean.
Are you drinking Earth? What?
That's why I didn't want you to take a sip, because I knew you were about to say something petty.
Ooh, okay.
It's double shot of kale, double shot of ginger, strawberries, blueberries, and pea protein.
Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of the King and Me Show, where I just drank Earth.
You want to do a deep question thingy?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do one deep question here
You want to do deep?
from Let's Get Deep.
All right, we'll do deep.
Let's do deep. Hey, giggity.
Giggity. Man, these questions. Do you have any friends you consider family?
I have several friends that I consider family. And I think that with those people, it's vice versa as well. Like there's somebody who he's like, dude, you're invited up, whatever. If I ever need to crash, it's not a thing where I have to ask. It's more of a, I'm gonna let you know. And it's like, all right, cool. And I'm happy about that. Part of having those type of friends is cultivating those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're able to do that, I think you're able to have a more rich, fulfilling life. When you and I first got together, I wanted to know about your friends and things. And I was big on, hey, make sure that you still keep those friendships because I am going to spend time with mine. So I'm just letting you know. But I do mean that. I do
But
think
then-
that you should still cultivate those friendships outside of, you know, the relationship and thing like that. And those friends I consider family.
But then I meet your friends and I steal them all.
Yeah, you know what? Stop stealing my friends. Same question to you.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple that I would definitely consider friends.
Like-
Family.
Like family. Like we ain't blood, but
We blood.
we blood. They're about as close to family as you can be. And I'm definitely thankful for them.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Again, this is a little bit different, but hope y'all found it entertaining. Let us know what y'all think about the matrix that we created. And cop some shirts. These shirts are dope. We've been complimented on some of the shirts as we've gone out. So I'm like, oh, glad you like them. Go to thekingandmeshow.com
Go
and
get
get you
your
one.
own.
Help support a small business.
A black owned, a couple owned. I mean, come on, give me your hand. Give me your hand. So they can see
I
how
don't know where you're
adorable.
going with this.
We're so adorable. We're so cute. Go buy our shirts. No.
What she just said. I'm just going to support that.
It's been King approved.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
King,
goodness.
King approved.
I should have known that second time that I touched it. I was like, yeah,
No doubt.
it's coming.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Put a comment down in the comment section. Let us know what you think about our matrix or what you would put for your crazy hot age obligation XY style axis matrix yourself.
Yeah,
All of that.
all of that.
All of that. We out, y'all.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.